So this is the stop right here where John Filax is going to get arrested. Good to see everybody. Sorry, I was a couple minutes late. My computer made me restart. I'm so sorry. Forgive me.
Yeah. What up, Yak? What up, people? Dead Prepper, what up? Dan, Southeastern PA Community about that. What up? Jorge Corona. ¿Qué pasa contigo? Broken system, broken trust. Thanks for having me on that one night, man. I really appreciate that. Joseph Carney, what's up? Robert Kitchens, what's up? Yes, Tampa. Yes, they would do that. They are doing it. They're right there. Then she called me on hammer. Wasn't me. Heard the words that I told her. Been a while. I've been posting a lot, man. YouTube doesn't tell you. September 7th, Clearwater. Writes Chris B. What is up, brother? Look forward to seeing you. By the way, guys, this Monday, we're doing a three-legged audit, so to speak. Land O'Lakes DMV, Dade City DMV, Zephyr.
So if you guys don't know who this guy is right here, let me give you guys a little bit of 411. He's one of the old school OGs. He's been an activist and an auditor for a very long time. I wanted you to meet him in case you hadn't met him before. YouTube has completely blocked him from being able to get any traction as they're doing to me right now. I've never seen anything like this happen to myself anyway. Well, besides when I got kicked off TikTok. Anyway, do me a favor. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody take your finger just real quick and hit the like button. It's right down there. It's the thumbs up thing. Just hit the like button. This is a fundraiser. So I'm going to ask all of you guys to pull your phone out of your pocket, open up your Cash App, your Venmo, or your PayPal, and send me $20. And I need 50 people to send me $20 to be able to pay for John Filax lawyer. So down here in the comment section, I'll let you guys watch a couple more minutes of John because he's an interesting character, and I'm going to bring him on and we're going to talk to him live in just 1 second.
Let me where the hog's at?
Brooklyn Audits.
Right here. Let's see if I get this camera switched around.
What's going on, Ray?
Closed up on close. Made it
Victor.
close up on me. Oh, phone has shutters.
Rachel Anderson, miss you.
So,
Chris Alderson.
Tripod broke.
Jack Boot Thug Pigs.
Man, I smell some cologne. Man, bro. We got eyes on the state here. Say what's up, man.
What's up?
Show them your shirt. Right? In the backside.
Right.
Eyes on the state, baby. In the flesh. I'm going to go scope out what they're doing over here. Hit the thumbs up. 68 people, 15 thumbs up. More thumbs up, more people will watch, I believe.
There you go.
We are at, what is this, Nebraska, Martin Luther King? We're at Nebraska and Martin Luther King! Martin Luther King. Man, I don't know Martin Luther King. Let me turn on my body cam. Get this going. Let's go. All right, should be blinking red. Yes, it is. Part 2 of my trespass appeal hearing will be, I'm going to post it for the members, the paid members, tonight and most of tomorrow. And it's only 99 cents to join if you want to support a brother. The people who have already joined, bless you. I appreciate that more than you know, man. There's like 50 of you, and I can't thank you enough. We're not going to get popped for jaywalking or nothing.
So how do you stop from getting popped for jaywalking? You state out loud, this is a police protest. So let's take well, I'll let it keep playing.
What about pedestrian on the roadway or something? So there they all are setting up. So if we cross right here, you think they do anything? Or should we just go down to the end?
I'm going to go right here in this corner.
Oh, I see.
50 feet from us.
I thought you meant down by the traffic light.
That's a long ways to walk.
Yeah, dude. What's up with these runways?
This is where they bring everybody in, all in the private property right there.
Oh, so they bring them on the private property,
This is
huh?
what they do, okay? So this side of the street right here, they keep completely open, and they let everybody just drive down the street right here. And then everybody coming northbound on Nebraska over here, what they do is they set the sign up. You see the sign's going to be set up right over there in front of that hotel motel sign there.
Uh-huh.
And there's a turn there. That's the last place that they can turn pretty much is they're going to come up.
To
They'll
escape
have
the
this,
violation.
Yep, they'll have this right here all done up with traffic cones and all of that kind of stuff right here.
Then they got this little runway set up to.
That's where they load everybody in at, is right in there. So we'll go over here. Come on, this guy's turning.
I don't see it. Okay, thanks.
See the little runway lights? I might not be able to read all your comments, guys. I apologize.
The little sign that they'll put up will be pretty much right down there. You can't see it good with this light, but it'll be right down there before that, or after that stoplight this way. And then this right here, yeah, pretty much right down there. And then this will be all coned off, and they'll drive everybody down into one lane right here, into this spot, in this area right here, and then they'll make everybody turn in here.
So they're going to set up a ton of cones right here.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they pick just one side?
I don't know. Probably because they can pull people in right here.
Is the
like
sign, the turn-off sign
They
up?
haven't set it up yet.
Oh, so we're early.
Yeah, they should be getting, like, over here, you can see they got that little U-Haul trailer over there. And that little U-Haul trailer over there is where all their stuff is. They keep all the cones and everything in that. So as soon as they're going to move that.
I love
that's
cones.
It looks like they got a table set up with food and stuff over there.
Oh, and they're on private property because they could say if they just kick us off of there.
Yeah.
So we can't get too close to them.
They're actually on the city's, that's the city's credit union right there.
Are we allowed on this property?
I don't think so.
Brandon Mitchell, what's up? Did you get your thing? Did you get your flashlight? Hit the thumbs up, man. That she called me on camera. Wasn't me.
So now here's the other thing, is when these guys come, you got to make sure it's supposed to be random. They won't stop every single car. They'll stop every third or every fifth car is what they'll do is when they go to stop them.
Mm-hmm. So obviously this violates the Fourth Amendment, and the way they claim this cop driving around without his lights on. See that? Right here.
Look at this one coming at us.
Oh yeah, look at them, two of them. That's a nice expensive SUV we pay for. And driving without his lights on.
Yep.
A lot of coppers here. See if I can zoom in on the table. Hillsborough Cop Watch said he'll be here soon. There's a little table they set up.
So let's go back a little bit here.
See that? Right here. Mm-hmm.
So now here's the other thing.
That she called me on camera. Wasn't me.
So now here's the other thing, is when these guys come, you got to make sure it's supposed to be random. They won't stop every single car. They'll stop every third or every fifth car is what they'll do is when they go to stop them.
Mm-hmm.
So how come they can do that? How come the cops can just randomly stop a car? Because of Terry versus Ohio. The 1990 case of Michigan Police Department versus SITS. This is what is an extension or the jurisprudence of Terry versus Ohio. And so you say, this case right here, yes, this is the case that makes DUI checkpoints in America constitutional. Well, according to this Supreme Court, they turn over every 60 to 120 years. Cases are overturned that are ridiculously stupid, like setting up roadblocks in the middle of the road. So what are the facts of the case? In 1986, Michigan State Police Department created a sobriety checkpoint program aimed at reducing drunk drivers within the state. The program included guidelines governing the location of roadblocks and amount of publicity to be given to the operation. Before the first roadblock went into effect, Rick Sitz, a licensed Michigan driver, challenged the checkpoints and sought declaratory and injunctive relief. Sitz was victorious in the Michigan lower courts. Here's the constitutional question. Did the drunk driving checkpoints violate a motorist's privacy protected by the Fourth Amendment? And how come it is that Terry versus Ohio would be the jurisprudence for Sitz? Because it's a Fourth Amendment case, and the Fourth Amendment was completely changed in 1968. Once again, take a look. This go by ideology. The conservative Supreme Court personnel, I don't call them justices, they're trash. They work against us. They work against freedom. Conservative Supreme Court justices are the worst. Well, they both are. So then let me read the court's decision here. In a 6-3 decision, the court held that roadblocks did not violate the Fourth Amendment. What? Can you even believe it? Everybody talks about how great Scalia was. He was so great. List 5 cases he wrote opinions on. You can't. It's all bullshit. It's a publicity scam. Scalia's great. He's a textualist. Everybody loves Scalia. Bullshit. Scalia was a jackboot, thug, pig tyrant. The day he died, I danced in the streets, hoped the devil took his soul. He's a piece of shit. Trust me. I've read all of his opinions. He's garbage. The guy's garbage. The court held that the roadblocks do not violate the Fourth Amendment. Right there, you can pretty much stop. What the hell are you talking about? Roadblocks don't violate the Fourth Amendment? Oh, it just pisses me off. The court noted that no one can seriously dispute the magnitude of the drunken driving problem or the state's interest in eradicating it. The court then found that the weight bearing on the other scale, the measure of the intrusion on motorists stopped briefly at sobriety checkpoints, is slight. Is that what it is? Do you guys think that it's slight? Is that what it is? You guys think it's slight? You think you being pulled over at a checkpoint and them stopping traffic and there's a great big line and there's guys in the street and then they could pull you out of your car? You think that's slight? Well, just so you know, the Court of Appeals said no and they reversed it. The Supreme Court took it up on certiorari and they said the court held that roadblocks do not violate the Fourth Amendment. The weight bearing on the other scale, the measure of the intrusion in the motorist stop briefly at sobriety checkpoints is slight. The court also found that empirical evidence supported the effectiveness of the program, but that's not true either. It's an ineffective program and doesn't work. We have the data now, empirical data since 1986 till now. We have the data. So these jackboot thug pigs are setting up what the Scalia Supreme Court was actually the Rehnquist Court, but Scalia was one of the leaders of the court.
Extortion point.
Piece of shit. Can't stand.
I wonder
him.
how many victims you guys are going to get tonight. How many victims you guys trying to get tonight? How many people are you going to try to victimize?
There you are, Filax. What's going on, brother?
This is
what up?
He was blown on, extorting people. What's going on, man? You all right? Glad to hear it.
So I'll pause
Good
this
talk.
for 1 second so that we can introduce our guest and our guest of honor who we're raising $1,000 for right now. Listen, we are doing a fundraiser for Mr. John Filax right now. You have my PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App at the bottom of there. I already have money from Team DLZ. I already have $60 in my, and that's from Chevy and Gary and one other person. And then in my Cash App right now, right this minute, I already have another $84. I cleared all these out. We got to raise 1,000 tonight. And then on PayPal, Chevy already sent me money. And then right after that, Gary sent me money. Garrett Van Nett, Press with Ranker, sent me money. I got another 40 there. So I'm at 160 right there. Let me check Venmo. We're really close already. I mean, we're already super close. Let me just check Venmo real fast so I can see where the wallet is. So Venmo, I believe, is still at zero. So we're at $160. We got to raise $1,000. And every time I bring somebody on who needs help, I always ask them to let me do the e-begging. Let me do it because this is what I've done half of my life when I raise money for companies and the things I've been involved with. So if you guys would please pull your phone out right now. I need 50 people with $20. April, thank you for your donation. Let me read off just a couple of names here real quick, John, and then we're going to get to an update on your case and see where you are. I just want to recognize some Pistol P Rex, Brooklyn Audits has thrown in. Donna has thrown in as well. Donna L, thank you so much. Yeah, please put Filax on the subject line of your Cash App, PayPal. Robert, I can give half of that in. So now we're at $185 of 1,000. Thank you so much, Robert. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So John, how are you, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Okay. So now maybe we should watch the arrest, but what's going to happen in the video is John's going to be arrested for flashing a light back and forth with a little piggy. And so where are you now? Have you hired an attorney? You have an attorney?
I've had an attorney since about the first week, but
right.
She's just telling me, just sit back, see what they do. I've yet to step into a courtroom. I think it was a second time we're supposed to appear for court, and she had still to get a police report. She does have the body cams and the in-car cams and my live feed. And she's told me some things, but it's nothing really I can say yet until it's all said and done, because you know why, obviously.
Right.
But her main advice is don't go on YouTube and say everything you're doing, because one thing they'll take it out of context and turn it into something gigantic. So when this is all said and done, which I believe is going to be soon, I'll come on and I'll say from start to finish how it went, the cams, everything that's on the cams, everything. But right now I got to lay low a little bit.
So, the thing is, John, is that you totally got cheated. Like, there's no reason in the world that if a cop is annoyed by your behavior, that you should be arrested. And what were the charges you got charged with?
Resisting without violence.
Resisting without violence. So what does that mean exactly? We're going to show the arrest in 1 second. You guys, listen, donate right now. Venmo is at Chille-DeCastro. It's hopefully that works for you, Rachel. We got to raise $1,000 for this guy. I think we already raised 1,000 or 1,500 so far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we already raised the first 1,500. Now we got to go 1,000 more. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
Okay, so we got to raise. Robert Longwood, thank you so much for your donation. Chevy, I appreciate you. Gary, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you guys so much. We can't do anything without a crowd of people helping us. Gary, thank you so much. I appreciate it. There's so many people who are Team DLZ that are regular that just come in. Garrett Vanette, Alberto just donated. Greg, of course, one of my longtime regulars. Michael Dolan just donated, and so now we're at 83 on Cash App. This is PayPal. I'll show you guys the updated pay, because when we get to $1,000, we're done, and we're not going to raise more than $1,000. So go ahead, John. Sorry.
Breaking the law, saying forget attorneys, represent yourself. But every other thing I've gone into court for was either a fine or a trespass or something minor, to where it didn't really matter if I lost. This is over my head. I would have been running back and forth, not knowing that I wouldn't have had to go to all these cases. I would have been going downtown, going back and forth. And the lawyer was recommended by a lawyer from that Rogue and Wrights and all them have been using for years, and he's on our side. He would have took the case, but he was in Italy at the moment. Well, so if I'm facing time, dude, and if I just went in there all boisterous and John Felix style, and and I caught a jury of the wrong people, yeah, I could be sitting in jail for a year. But go ahead, sorry.
No, I hear you. And just breaking the flaw is a long time contact of mine since I've been on YouTube, Joseph, and so just to share my process of court so far. From now on, I'll be using an attorney. And the reason is because what they do when you're in pro persona, especially in federal court, is they skirt the law, they skirt the rules, and they cheat you. And it's really regular. As a matter of fact, On my LVMPD lawsuit, I'm about to bring an attorney in. On my Ohio lawsuit, as soon as we get through the appeals process, I'm about to bring an attorney in. I'm suing someone in Massachusetts in December. I'm having an attorney sue that person in Massachusetts. I'm no longer going to do my own cases because of how badly we get cheated. We're pro persona.
Not only that, it's hard to keep up. How do you keep up with all these cases? It's super stressful, dude. When you have just this cloud hanging over your head and you're not free and clear to go. Plus, everything keeps happening. The grass still needs to get cut. The bills still need to get paid. The dogs still need to get fed. This is a giant thorn in your side. Whereas for them, pushing the thorn is what pays them. It doesn't pay us. So unless I was super confident in myself and there wasn't that much to lose, sure, I go in there and of course this violates the Fourth Amendment. Are we kidding? Is this still America? You know, I filibuster in there and I get my video and show the world how corrupt the government is, but we know that.
Yes.
And that's why I strive so hard to not get arrested. I was so shocked that I got arrested that night. I even guarantee my wife I'm not going to get arrested, but
that's funny. So we're gonna jump ahead here a little bit.
This is disgusting.
And so the cops and John.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
You see that the cops and John have been having kind of a little cucumber measuring contest here, back and forth, flashing the light at one another. And they were messing with them. The guys on the side of the road were messing with them. It was dudes being dudes. You know, the saying, boys will be boys. That's what these guys were doing. Dudes who are kind of jousting each other's ego. Like, you know, how sometimes you get the little shoulder twitch, you know, that's what was going on. Am I wrong, John?
I mean, we were trying to make them feel bad for violating their oath. Yeah. And he was coming back with some sarcastic nonsense. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I had an answer for everything he had to say.
Of course.
He was saying, I was asking him who the victim is in a crime where there's no victim. And he says, the state is the victim. The state. I'm so tired of that. Is the state going to show up? Do I have the right to face my accuser as the state? What damages did the state suffer? It's complete nonsense. But I digress.
Well, no, I mean, you saw me just read Sitz versus Michigan State Police, correct?
Uh-huh.
So, you know, just to let the people know, as I have studied constitutional law for the last 20 plus years, what the Supreme Court does is completely against us. They're against our liberties, against our freedom, especially conservatives. Conservative Supreme Court personnel for the people is the worst. It's the worst. The fact that conservatives right now are fighting for our Second Amendment right, to me, is absolutely mind-blowing, because I have never seen the Supreme Court fight for any of our amended, God-recognized rights. I've never seen that. So
it's a political football for them now.
Right. It's a political football. So now you have the left and the right fighting over the Second Amendment, and the right doesn't want to lose it. And so the right, if you haven't seen Sheldon Whitehouse's, the senator from Delaware, if you haven't seen his long series called Shadow Money, the Shadow Money is what it's called. And Sheldon Whitehouse breaks down how the Supreme Court over the last 25 years plus, the Republicans in Congress have made it so that they've stacked the Supreme Court with conservative Supreme Court personnel. I don't call them justices because they're not. They don't work for us. They work against us. And so,
was the Supreme Court always around, Chille? Was it from the beginning?
Yeah. The Supreme Court became enacted with the 1789 Judiciary Act.
But
and of course,
how can they get something that's so plain as day? No issue. You know, the Fourth Amendment is so clear. How can anybody say stopping random people on the street no longer violates the Fourth Amendment because we put it on Twitter?
Well, I mean, John, I'm not sure if you know or not, but you know, there's three. Everybody knows that there's three branches of government. You have the sorry about that. It's backwards. You have the executive, you have the congressional, and you have the judicial branches of government. And the judiciary branch of government that was put into motion by George Washington signing the 1789 Judiciary Act, what that did is that began the very first Supreme Court, called the John Jay Court. John Jay was one of our, I mean, this guy, John Jay, you have no idea. He did so many things. We can go into, I don't want to lose ourselves here. So the three functionalities of these branches of government, the congressional branch of government, what the legislators do, whether that be in California or federally, they write laws. So when I run and I win governorship, I won't get to make laws. I can do executive orders and change policies, but the laws wherever I run will be written by the Congress. The executive in charge then signs those laws into effect. So Congress wrote the Judiciary Act of 1789. George Washington signed it into effect. In 1803, in Marbury versus Madison, the Supreme Court overturned the Judiciary Act because it was unconstitutional. It went against the founding documentation. So now that you kind of understand that basis, the Supreme Court, the only functionality the Supreme Court is supposed to do is to uphold our rights, uphold those first 10 amendments. And then as you go down the 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th, the 11th Amendment is based on racism. But this is what the program of the Supreme Court is to make sure that your Fourth Amendment right, the right of the people to be secure in their person, houses, papers, and effects, that they uphold that. And unfortunately, since the very beginning, the Supreme Court has worked against us. And so just remember, the only job of the Supreme Court, what their core functionality is supposed to be, is to uphold our civil liberties. And they have done exactly the opposite. They are appointed. And so when you appoint anybody to a government position for life, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So that's the reason why Sitz versus Michigan State Police, why I read that line in Oyez earlier on the holding, and I said that the Supreme Court found that putting up roadblocks in America does not violate the Fourth Amendment. Can you explain that one to me, John?
How doesn't it? That's like I said, they claim that because they put it on Twitter or Facebook or in the newspaper that they've given the public a warning, and all you had to do was everyone who lived in that area, all they had to do was look at that place where they published it, and they would know to avoid it. That's get the F out of my face with that.
That's not the Fourth Amendment.
What's not the Fourth?
That your rights won't be violated if you don't go over there.
Yeah. It hurts.
J6, thank you so much for your donation. We're now at $139 on Cash App. I'm getting reports that Venmo is not working. Do you have a Venmo, John? I'll put your Venmo up here.
I have a Zelle and a Cash App.
Well, I already have those. I want a Venmo.
No Venmo.
Typically, John, I never have anybody else put their stuff up, but I mean, you've been around for a long time, dude. We're going to raise you $1,000 and then we're going to stop. So, if you have anything that you want me to put up there it is, my friend. The Angry Vet chipped in $50 for you, brother.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
I'd like to have him on too.
Man, I love that guy.
I covered your video earlier today, Chille.
What's that?
You see, I did your video earlier today.
Oh no, I didn't. You covered one of my videos?
I did cover 3 of your videos.
What the flock?
Part 1, 2, and 3 of the Terry versus Ohio thing you did.
Oh, the Terry era. You actually covered that.
Yes.
Tube Sock is back, everybody. Good to see you, Tube Sock. Good to see you. Good
back
to
from
see
the
you.
80s.
Hey, KT, can you write another blurb for me? Please put John Filax on the pay line and then add my Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal, because I just want to recognize the Angry Vet. And as Angry Vet knows, and as you know, John Filax, I only give half of the super chat money because YouTube, after they split it and then they tax it, we only end up getting about half of it. So I'm not, and if I do make any money, I'll donate it. It's just that simple.
It's all good, bro.
I want to get you to the $1,000. That's what matters the most to me. Lenny's here, everybody. Good to see you. Let me check PayPal real quick, just so I can shout out some names. Anybody else who's donated and say thank you. I super appreciate it. Albert, thank you. David, thank you. Chevy has thrown in again. Chevy has donated more money. So now we're at 90. Sorry about that. We're at 97. Sorry about that. Just trying to protect the people. I'm at $97, $100 on PayPal, $160 on Cash App. So we're $260 there. I don't have anything in Venmo because it's not working. And then across the payout, the super chats up here, we have another 50 from those two combined. And then we have another $55. And then there's Chevy for another $5. So now we have $60 there. So someone keep track of this. We're at 263 plus 60. So we're at $320. We're 320. So we got to get to 1,000. So if you guys would please open up your phone right now. I will put my Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App up there. Katie's done that for you. Oh yeah, just PayPal and Cash App's working right now. Thank you. So we're at $263, John. We're at $260 already for your attorney. So I'm super stoked. You all right? You look like you put your finger in a blender.
This guy says Chille the magnanimous, hands-on John Felix. So I look up magnanimous. It says generous or forgiving, especially toward a rival or less powerful person. What?
I don't know if it's, I mean, there's several different facets of magnanimous, though. That's not the only that's not the only definition of magnanimous.
Dude, I'm joking. Come on.
Yeah. I see, just so you guys know, everybody watching this, I see John, even though we're almost the exact same age. I see John as someone who I looked up to when I used to just watch YouTube videos. I used to watch this guy's videos. I saw his very first pullover like 8 years ago or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I saw him stand up for his rights on camera. And I was like, man, I hope someday I get to meet that guy, like someone actually fighting back for our rights. And so I was so impressed with you that I was like, man, I really hope someday I get to be this guy's friend. And now I get to be your friend. And so
everyone who says that about me, I actually say the same thing about you guys. Because before me, there was other dudes doing JC Playford and Jeff Gray and
Jeff Gray.
That news now, Houston, man, he's in jail now, and he might have did some nasty stuff, but he was part of this movement, whether we like it or not. And he put out some good stuff.
He did.
So even the auditors I don't like, if they put out good stuff and they do a good job on something, I'll give them credit. It's just like playing pool. There's 4, 5, 6 guys I can't stand at the pool hall, but when they beat me, they beat me. That's all there is to it. I can't deny reality just because I don't like somebody.
Are you a pretty good pool player, John?
Yeah, I'm decent. I'm like a 600 rating.
Does anybody know what that means?
700 is like the pros.
Does anybody know? Okay, so we're at 330 now. I got another 20. If you guys use Venmo, PayPal, or use Cash App or PayPal, then it's easier. But oh yeah, of course. Don't forget a dame. Oh shoot, I put Katie's thing down. Gosh dang it, Katie. Sorry about that. I always want to recognize people who donate. And so I put their thing up, but I got to keep this up. Put Filax on your donation line, please. Right now, we're a little over 320. Let's get to this 1,000 as quickly as, oh, holy smokes. So I got BS Timports. BS Timports just came in, and Laura Fincher. Oops, shouldn't have said her last name. Sorry about that. Laura, thank you so much. I appreciate it. David just came in. Chevy. Eric just came in. God bless you guys, man. So we're almost $200 on PayPal. We're almost $200 on PayPal. We're going to get your lawyer paid off, John. We're going to raise this $1,000.
And let me thank Michael and Samantha too that sent me $10.
Okay, so keep track of that because I want to raise $1,000. We're at $214 on Cash App. And what was the PayPal just now? And I'm going to read those names too. PayPal was $189. So we're a little over $400 plus there's $65 here. So we're halfway there. We're pretty close. Yeah, we are halfway there because Chevy and Gary and I won't forget you, but somebody else donated too. One of the DLZ regulars who before I even start a fundraiser, when I announce the fundraiser, they donate immediately. So thank you. I super appreciate it. I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
So, we're halfway there. Robert, is that another 50? Is that another 50 from Robert? It sure is. Sure is.
Bless
Thanks
you, man.
so much, dude. Oh, and the Angry Vet said he dropped another 50 on Cash App. We're going to raise you this money, John. I'm so grateful. Yep, he sure did. Angry Vet put another 50 on Cash App. Now we're at 265 on Cash App. We were at 65 half. So that's $90 here on Super Chats. I'll count them all up at the end just to be double sure. So that let's just call it 100 because I'll chip it in if it's not there. Let's call it 100 here on Super Chats, 265 on Cash App. So that's 365. And then on PayPal, we'll call that 200, 365, 465, 565. because we have that other $60 I started with. So we're actually at $620. We're $620 approximately, somewhere in
Wow.
there. And I'll,
You
if
guys are
there's
amazing.
if there's 50 or $100, I'll cover it. I
Dude,
want to make, I'm going to
Chille,
contribute as well.
would you believe that someone argued against repealing Terry v. Ohio?
Yes. Yeah.
They said, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No.
Well, in 1776, one of the most famous papers that Thomas Paine wrote, he would write a thesis called Common Sense. And in that thesis, what he was doing was reaching out to all of the British bootlickers who wanted to remain a part of the royal crown across the pond. And Thomas Paine's thesis called Common Sense, that was the most distributed pamphlet in the history of time at that particular time period. It changed the minds of hundreds of thousands of Americans and got a lot of them to be willing to fight and join the 3%ers who had decided to overthrow the British rule of the New World. So what were you going to say, John?
So
Someone argued to keep Terry versus Ohio.
He kept going in the comments that he was basically saying that without reasonable articulable suspicion, it'll be easier for the cops to invade our life and violate our rights. So at the end of the live, I had him come on, and he's telling me he's kind of long-winded, which is fine. I don't like it when people are super long-winded. Don't let you get a word in, but it's fine. So he says, finally, I just said, listen, I'm dumb. Just answer me this. If we repeal Terry versus Ohio, would we have less freedom or more freedom? And he kind of tried to inch around it. I go, less freedom or more freedom? And he literally tried to say that we'd have more freedom with Terry v. Ohio in place.
That's not true. I mean, I can show you that from the prison population alone. That's just not true. We had less than a little over 300,000 people in jails and prison in 1968 here. And then when you drop down on the map over here, now Terry versus Ohio, this is literally the time frame where there's 300,000 people in prison right here, 350,000 at the most. And now since Terry versus Ohio, we've put over 2.5 million people in prison and arrested over 9 million people. 9 million people. So it's just not true. What that man said is fundamentally false. But also, John, if you covered my videos, it may have been someone that just wanted to give you a hard time.
That's fine.
So what was your argument to him, though?
My argument to him, and I hope I'm right about this, and I was just about to ask you. So before Terry versus Ohio, there was no reasonable articulable suspicion. It was just based on facts and facts alone. I saw you commit or about to commit a crime.
Right.
Therefore, you're under arrest.
Right.
There's no gray area. There's no, let me hold you here for a second so I can get some answers out of you, like that one judge you said in the video.
Hugo Black.
So in my opinion, if that's the case, you get rid of RAS, then the only reason they can touch you, put their hands on you, do anything to you, force you to do anything is if you've broken a law.
Right. That's right.
What's wrong with that standard?
That's the way it should be. And as long as it's not like that, we're going to have you see it. How many times do cops say that they are investigating you and you don't want to be investigated? You haven't done anything to be investigated. You don't want to answer their questions.
Right. They're just random roadside investigations. If we're not going to have roadside court, then we're not going to have roadside investigations, buddy. They want it all their way.
TC put a fun fact in here. 10 million people are arrested every year in the United States.
That's sick.
Yeah. I was quoting the felons. I think we have 9 million felons now in America. I can't remember the statistic. There's so many numbers in my head. But you guys, listen, this is a fundraiser for John Filax. Please open up your phone right now. My Cash App, my PayPal is there, and I will show you guys exactly where we're at. We're at Chevy. Chevy's donating like every 5 minutes. So now we're at 204 on PayPal, and let me check Cash App right here. Thank you guys so much. And so we're 204. We're at 315 on Cash App. So what was that last number? 204. So that's $515. I hope that's right. I hope I'm not. It's hard to keep track. Yep. So that's 515. I had 60 when we started. So that's 575. And then we have another 90. We'll call it 100, $675. So we're at 675, and you got 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're at 685. So now this fundraiser has now turned into a $300 fundraiser, $320 fundraiser, and I'll chip in too. So if we don't get it, I'll tap us off, but we're going to get it. We are absolutely going to get it. So what did you cover today when you covered the three, you covered all three of the Terry era, part 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, I just did it all live.
Wow. I didn't even know that. What time was that going on?
Let's see here. YouTube studio.
Eric, thank you so much. BST, thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. That's the Angry Vet, by the way. BST is the Angry Vet. Laura, thank you. I appreciate it. Go ahead.
He has a dummy account?
No, his the way he pays. And then April, thank you so much, April. God bless you, honey. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's just we can't do it alone. John, you know that. How hard is it? Are you rolling the dough, John? How many millions do you have?
I'm rolling in the dough, but it's like literal dough that you make biscuits out of.
And did you expect that you were going to get arrested that night? Did you think you were going to?
I try so hard not to get arrested because I've been doing this since 2011.
Can you hear me? That means we're free to stay.
Go ahead.
Your policy is to identify.
What are you saying, John?
I've been doing this since 2011, and I never asked anybody for a dime, man. And I hate to do it, but no, I don't. I hate having a boss, so I always do like make the rings, make the videos. Now I have another job that I do on the weekends. So
what other job do you do on the weekends now?
The thing is, I'm vulnerable and in public, so I don't want some hater to show up at my job.
Oh, no. I mean, what kind of work? Is it just menial labor where you're just making a buck at the job?
No, it's a decent job, but it's only on the weekends, and without, it's hard to describe it without completely giving it away. Let's just say I'm in public.
Okay. Thanks, Josh Almighty. I appreciate that. I got your super chat right there. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So now let's watch a couple of minutes of what happens here.
What's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number?
So that was the thing, John. They wouldn't identify, right?
Yeah.
They would not identify. And so when they wouldn't identify, John began to really press and push and say, hey, you have to identify. And that's when the light games begin with the flashlight, their flashlight, your flashlight.
Okay. So you see, this guy doesn't like, I'm trying to read your name, okay, since you won't give it to me.
There's his flashlight.
Sir.
There's his flashlight.
There you go. That's called prior restraint. Now you're breaking the law. What's your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number? Dude, that thing's weak, bro.
Johnny
What's your name
G,
and badge number?
Thank you, Johnny G, for donating. Johnny G, I appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
Name and badge number. You realize what you're doing is illegal, right?
Like the light you're shining in our eyes.
I'm trying to get your information. You won't give it to me. Excuse me? What are you doing?
Identifying a light as a threat.
Okay,
You're
there we go.
Threat.
Now what?
One over there.
There you go. I'm shining it at your feet, not your face.
Do you guys see what's
Okay.
going on here?
There you go.
Do you see what's going on here? Okay. So he's on the phone right there, John. Is that another 50 from Robert? Is that what that is? God bless you, Robert. Thank you so much. Laura again donated, just so you know, Mr. Filax. Thank you so
Laura,
much.
I love you. Kiss
yeah,
you on the mouth.
Yeah, Laura has donated again, and she put in the comment sections, get her done, get it done. So thank you, Laura. With folks like y'all who have the means and the ability to donate, we will get it done. But I just want to talk about what we're seeing right here. I'm going to kill the sound on the video so you and I can talk. But so here's what's happening.
Hey,
These guys have been
timestamp right there, Chille.
That's going to be 45:50, 42 minutes and 50 seconds
left in the video.
42:50, and there's an hour and 18 minutes in the video.
So for another 40 minutes, they have no problems doing their job. While I'm still doing the flashlight thing, they don't have any problems for the next 35, 36 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And then
Robert Logwood, thank you so much.
Mark, what's that?
I said Robert Logwood. I want to thank him. He's $150 in so far. We can only cash out 75 or $80 of that, but I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dude. One theory is that the one cop called the other ones over to come and talk to me, you know, make their threats stop, or we're going to lock you in jail. So the theory is that the one who called him over was actually surprised that I was taken into custody, because they didn't think that was going to happen like that. Another thing is, Chille, is they don't want to give you records anonymously in Tampa. That's one more thing. Second thing is, when I went to retrieve my pistol and ammunition, they didn't tell me this, but when I got there, they made me sign like a similar form like you would sign a federal firearms form about, you know, the no, yes form.
Right.
And if you didn't fill that out, I don't think they would give you your ammunition back. And even if you did fill it out, you'd have to come back in another 2 days to pick up your 6 or 7 bullets.
Wow.
What else?
Martin V, thank you so much. Martin V just donated $50. We're getting closer and closer. Thank you so much, Martin. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. We're getting closer, guys. Keep donating if you can. Spread the word. We probably need a little less than $300 right now. We're super close. Anyway, so what were you saying, John?
So I immediately started following all your advice. I got on the ChatGPT. I already had a complaint drawn up. I already requested records from them, and they wouldn't give me any records. They refused to give me any body camera footage because the case was in litigation or something. You know, it's a pending trial. If it's a pending trial, that's my discovery, is it not?
Yes.
So yes. When the lawyer got hired, they gave it to her. But when I asked for it, no. Not only could I not get it anonymously, you have to go online and like register all your info in there. There's no anonymous.
Right.
And I guarantee if you went up there with a piece of paper documenting everything you want and hand it to them, they would give you a hard time because they don't want to give you anything anonymously.
Right.
So.
Wow, that's crazy. You know, it's the same thing in Oklahoma. A lot of you folks may remember a guy named Jason Dollarhide. Well,
sounds familiar.
He's a guy out of Oklahoma. You know, because people donate to me regularly.
He parked at a park, and then they started harassing him, and they turned into the license, and then the sheriff showed. Oh, the sheriff is the actual one that stopped him, right?
Right. It was the cops, and they arrested him.
Let me see your supervisor. He's like, I'm the sheriff.
Well, Jason Dollarhide's in jail now. He's been in jail for almost 4 months. He's got all kinds of things going on down there. That's not the point, though. What the point is exactly what you said. You said that to get the body cam footage in Tampa, you have to fill out this form and you have to register with the pigs. Well, I donate to Jason Dollarhide every single week. I have donated every week to him because people donate to me, and I feel like it's my job to pay that forward. And so, but the way I donate to him every week is I have to send money to his buddy, because for me to donate money to Jason Dollarhide inside the Tahlequah jail in Oklahoma, I have to register with the Oklahoma prison and give them my social security number. And I'm not willing to do that. So Jason has a friend there that I send the money to on PayPal every week, and then he puts the money on Jason's book, so he has some commissary and things like that.
A friend inside the jail?
No, it's a friend of his that is in Oklahoma that is already registered with the Oklahoma prison, has his social security number and everything on there, but I'm not willing to do that. And so, you know, I really didn't want to tell anybody about this, but it's exactly what you said. You know, we have to sign up and agree to be registered with the same pigs that most of us hate. I mean, I hate pigs because they agree to a set of policies, procedures, and protocols that are barbaric, inhumane, and brutal. There's no way I could put John Filax in torture cuffs and then go home and sleep at night.
And it was torture.
Oh, how were those torture cuffs, by the way? Tell me about that.
I swear to God, I was sore for 4 days. My wrists were sore for 4 days afterwards.
Yeah. How bad did they hurt immediately the second they
hurt? You'll see if I get the in-cam footage for the car. I couldn't stop crying, dude. Not crying literally, but whining like, yo, bro, yo, this hurts, bro. They're not supposed to be comfortable. I said uncomfortable is one thing, but pain is another. And then they kind of go silent. You know what he was doing the whole time? He was looking up because I had a pistol on me. And a month earlier, they passed concealed carry with no license. You don't need a license anymore.
That's going to be the New York Gun and Pistol Club versus Bruin 2023. That makes it so you no longer have to have a permit.
In Florida or federal?
In any states. It's federal. Now, a lot of states, what they did after the New York Gun and Pistol versus Bruin is a lot of states immediately enacted legislation that would, you know, create a caveat and in a different way. You have to try to register, have your gun or license or whatever, but all kinds of states did it. Massachusetts did it. All kinds of states are doing it. But really you can carry your gun anytime you want. You don't need a permit. And if you get arrested for it, you can fight it. And you may go to jail, but eventually you're going to win. Y'all, listen, this is a fundraiser for John Filax. We're going to pay off his lawyer. Let me check where we are right now. Gary has donated again. He donated before Gary's a longtime Team DLZ member. And so now we're at 286 on PayPal. And now let me check Cash App real quick. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate it.
More.
I know it. And we're at 365. Appreciate that, Johnny G. You know, life's a long time, Johnny G. And maybe someday we'll be able to reconnect. I just need a little bit more time, you know? So, and then Stephanie came in with some money, and Kevin came in with some money just now. All these people just came in with some money just now. So now we're at 365 on Cash App. So we're 365 on Cash App, and on PayPal, 286. Can someone do the math for me on that?
Thank you, John, for donating. He sent me a message.
Oh, yeah.
A message.
Someone do the math for me real quick here.
Did it through there. So while I'm complaining and crying and whining about the pain from these handcuffs and the way they got me set in this cruiser, because I'm fat dude on top of it, and I don't stretch and blah blah blah. I'm not in shape. I don't claim to be in shape. So my shoulders are burning, my hands are hurting, my wrists are hurting. I know they're not on. They kept saying they're on the right way. You have big wrists. I do not have big wrists. My ankles and my wrists are like really, really, really thin. Anyway, don't make me get the measuring tape. But anyway, and then they're trying to say it was on the last tooth. It wasn't on the last tooth. My ass. Dude, we used to mess around with handcuffs when we were kids. They have a lot of space if they want them to.
Right.
So I know my hands were jacked up. I know one was facing the wrong way. And what he was doing the whole time I was whining was looking on his computer, because I didn't have my driver's license on me, looking at his computer to see if he could slap on an extra charge for carrying a gun without my slave card.
Without your slave card?
Yeah, I know. That's what I call a driver's license. So it was a $25 fine. He's like, oh, I'm not going to do that to you. I'm like, oh, thanks so much, bro. Thank you so much. And then the back of the car, you're such a good guy, bro. Thank you. What else was I going to say? I'm sorry. I got excited there.
No, it's okay. So just to give you guys an update, we're at 671. I had 60 when we started from the 3 or 4 people, Gary, Chevy, and Dolan. I can't remember the other person's name, but I will look in my history. Thank you. So 671 plus 60, so we'll call that 730, and then we have about 120 in Cash App, 720. So now we're at 840. We're 840, and then you have 10, so we're 850. So we're only $150 shy right now. This is $150 fundraiser more, $150 more. If you guys could please, we need $150 to finish the fundraiser. So now we were talking about John and his torture cuff experience. So how long you get in the car, they got you in the torture cuffs. They say that we have them on the last tooth. It's just, you got fat wrists. That's what they say. Right. And what's your reply to them?
I go, no. And the thing is, their body cams can't pick up what tooth it's on. It's usually out of range of their camera. I can't see back there. So that there's a position right there where you're vulnerable to transparency and accountability, because they could, they're putting, especially if they don't like you, they're putting them on. They want you to feel some pain. They're butthurt beyond recognition, because how dare you think you have the freedom to come out here and object to us stopping random people for no reason. So
your perspective is so spot on. John went to go protest. And by the way, John, you have to actually say the words, "This is a police protest," and then you can't get arrested for jaywalking. And that comes from the 2019 case of Nivens versus Bartlett. That's going to be from the dicta of Neil Gorsuch during the oral arguments. And Gorsuch is going to state that if you're protesting police, then if you were to be arrested for jaywalking or spitting gum on the sidewalk or something trivial like that, then that would clearly be a retaliatory case, and you would be able to file a U.S. Code 42 against the cops. So that's Nivens versus Bartlett, 2019. You want to state out loud, this is a police
versus Bartlett. I think that's the next wave of, besides just suing the cops like Long Island Audit, I think the next wave is that auditors become very proficient in filing 42 USC 1983 lawsuits.
So Robert Logwood just came in for another 50, and Wayne came in with another 20. So we were at 750. Take half of that amount. We're at 785. We're at 785. Thank you, Robert, and thank you, Wayne. I typically would put your super chats up on the screen. I'm sorry. I'm just going to try to finish the rest of this, and then I'm going to put all the super chats on the screen from everybody. We're 100. Man, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Wayne, and thank you, Robert. I mean, Robert Logwood is
April. Robert. You know what? You guys send me an email. I'll gladly give you my phone number, man, and thank you in person. And I've pretty much done that to everybody who's given me money so far. I'm pretty accessible. I'm like a cheap, you know what?
That's it. Fundraiser's over.
Yeah. All right. See you guys later. Have a good
April.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa. All right. Hanukkah.
April just came through with a C note, threw $100 in for you.
April, much love, man.
And Bruce just came in. And J6 just came in again. J6 led by the FBI. And
nice,
and so now we have just crossed over the threshold of the $1,000. So
oh man, bless you, bro.
I bless you, dude. Y'all, thank you so much. And now let me recognize some of these people. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying a moment ago? So what he was saying was that there's no body cam, there's no cameras back there.
Oh, yeah.
And if John is having a physical altercation back and forth, an ego contest back and forth, not a physical confrontation, but an ego contest with a piggy, and they're flashing the lights back and forth, is it too far outside of the boundary to believe that the cop knows he can torture you with torture cuffs, that's exactly what he would do? Is that too far?
Well, that's all they got, because they're all wearing body cams now. And when's the last time you've seen a camera of cuffs? Because you would have to be close to them to see the clicks and the notches and everything.
Right.
So that's what you call, a blind spot. That is definitely a blind spot, and they're using that on you. He finally put double cuffs on me. He's like, I'm just doing that as a courtesy. Oh, thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much. I didn't resist 1 ounce. You have no reason. Here, take me. I'll jump in the car. I'll help you push start the mother up.
Right. If they tell you that you're under arrest, you'd be more than willing to go. You don't need to be torture cuffed.
I went with him.
Javelin.
What am I gonna do? Once they say that, there's nothing you can do unless you have a small army. There's nothing you can do.
Right. And so it's not too far out of bounds to believe that once you've had a cucumber measuring contest with a copper in the streets and you're flashing your light at him, he's flashing at you, you guys are jabbing back and forth, boys will be boys. And then when he has the right to put you in torture cuffs, that he's going to make sure that those cuffs are super torture. Right?
No, they were tight, bro.
Oh, I know it. I know. And then how long did he have you in those torture cuffs before you said, hey, look, like you got to lose? And how long was that? You said eventually they're going to put you in two sets of cuffs?
After the paramedics show up.
How long is that?
Before the pain started, almost immediately. I don't know, minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes. And then we go to some place. I don't know where the hell we're at. He said where we were, but the only people around are him and I. So that's scary. Wow. I'm in the back of the car, not seat belted in. He had driven over some highway and stuff. So I have no clue where we're at, dude. I'm telling him I'm in pain. He's looking up another way to jam me up for not having my ID on me. And then he says, oh, I thought you'd never been arrested before. Here you are right here with your mugshot right here. I go, what are you talking about? Oh, I don't. Here it is. Look. I look over. I go, what does that say? Open it up. He's like, I'm busy right now. I'm not opening up. Finally, I go, if you want me to shut up, you'll open that up. And he opened it up. I still didn't shut up, but he opened it up, and they have me in there as causing an incident at the Plant City Courthouse where I was the one who was assaulted. I was the one trying to file a complaint against the person who assaulted me. And they have me in their computer with my picture of my driver's license looking like a mugshot saying that I did something that caused a disturbance or something or other. It looked like I have an arrest record. And that's my very first arrest is this and only one. And they look at the computer now. They see it looks like I'm a trouble starter because I went to Plant City and protested at the courthouse. And someone assaulted me.
I hope someday people find all the mugshots I have all around the country. I have mugshots in 7 different states. So if the cops look up my record, they're going to see that I'm a troublemaker. Like, would you say you're a troublemaker?
Yeah.
Oh, did you read that comment down here for you, John?
No,
Prince said, John, I seen your video. Love you.
I love you, man.
Man, thank you so much. Like, I'm so super grateful to all these people who just came in here. You know, J6, Bruce, April, the Angry Vet, Johnny G, Stephanie T, Kevin G. I think Johnny G came through 3 times for you. Chevy came through 5 times for you. Robert Logwood came through 4 times for you. April came through 3 times for you and polished us off. Pistol P Rex came through. Robert C came through for you. Brooklyn Audit came through twice for you.
Bless you,
Donna
guys.
came through for you. Corey came through for you. Like, wow, all these people, dude. And every single dime is going. Let me just show you guys the receipts because I think we went over a little over 1,000. And I'm going to
email me your phone numbers too, man. I'll call you each personally.
Oh, I mean, you're a really sweet guy, John. That's
right, man. When you look like Fred Flintstone, man, you got to accentuate other qualities of yourself. And I stick to my my attributes and enhance those.
Let me be transparent real quick just for 1 second. So we're at 286 on PayPal, and then on Cash App we are at 640. So someone do the math for me there. 920. Then we had 100. I think we had 125 on super chats. I'll go through and count them up again. So that puts us up to $10.50. And then I had $60 from people before we began. So that brings you just to about $1,120. 1120.
God bless America. Patriots that I love, stand behind me and guide me. I don't know what to say, dude, other than thank you so much and do some
You people are amazing. You people. And John, you know, I do this at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. And I am just so grateful that it's 1110 is what Arlesia is saying. Whatever. 1100, 1150. It doesn't matter as long as we got the money to cover your lawyer. That's
Bless
what I
you.
So, I mean, back to the torture cuff story here.
Yeah.
If you've never been put in those torture cuffs, I don't know if I can show any more super chats. I'm trying to show more super chats. I'm scrolling up. I just want to recognize everybody who pulled the money out of their wallet and sent it in for John. I just, you know, this, I mean, at this point right here, typically when we together successfully raised this money, you know, it used to break me down at the end of the live and I would end up crying because it's just so
cry.
Yeah, I mean, it's so overwhelming that, you know, John's not rich and now we've been able to cover the cost of his lawyer. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get distracted, but so now we start to come full circle on what I talk about all the time are the torture cuffs. I talk about them all the time. I talk to cops about them. I talk to my audience about them. And we're seeing that John is sitting here telling us that he had this cucumber measuring contest with the pig in the street. And then when that pig could, he put him in the torture cuffs. And then he had to wait till the paramedics got there. And then when they stuck the 2 sets of handcuffs on you, the 2 sets of torture cuffs, did it loosen on your wrist at all?
Oh my God, it was night and day.
Right.
Because they put them on the right way, probably because you can see them. You know, you can stick your hands out to the side like this from behind your back. And you can see them at that point. When they got them stuck in the small of your back, right in the middle, and you're not a mega athlete like myself. No, that's a blind spot. Another thing about handcuffs,
Please, John, torture cuffs.
Another thing about torture cuffs, I am a logistics expert. I like to think I'm a logistics expert. The purpose is to immobilize somebody's arms so they can't flail, they can't strike you, right? It's not there for punishment. They're not there for punishment. So there's at least 1,000 different materials they could use for handcuffs that will not leave you sore, and you could still not escape, and it would just take a simple engineering. But I believe they want them to be hard metal, and they want them to be like that on purpose so they can dish out a little bit of collective punishment to all of us before they decide that we're guilty or innocent.
Do you see why I like John Filax? Because he's a thinker. He just illustrated what happened, and he literally took the ride for all of us by standing up for our rights, that DUI checkpoints are unconstitutional. He stood his ground, and then they tortured him. And then I say to him, hey, do you think that maybe they could do this just for torture? And he says, yes, of course. They want to instill a little bit of punishment on you. And you notice something, John? They all wear their torture cuffs. Torture cuffs used to be on the back. Do you remember that? Torture cuffs used to be on the back of the belt when you and I were young, when we were in our early 20s. You would see a cop and the torture cuffs would be in the back because they didn't come out very often. But now today, a lot of the pigs wear the torture cuffs right here on the front. They wear it right there on the vest so they can rip them out and put you in torture cuffs. It's a tool they use to torture us. And it has to change. Have you seen the new torture cuffs now? The ones with the hinge? It's just a hinge.
Oh, I have seen that.
Oh, dude, just so you know, your body is not made to have torture cuffs on with just a hinge with your arms behind your back. They're going to be more uncomfortable than the torture cuffs now. But just so you know, the ones with the hinge are more secure for the cops. So they're safer.
Good.
They're safer.
Good.
Because I've seen a few videos where victors.
I think cops should be issued a force field right out of the academy.
They should get a force field to cover them to make sure that they're safe at all
A
times.
force field, and then it'll be like a blue line flag. What do you call it? Hologram. That way, you know they're protected, and just obey and calm down. Okay. All right. Go on. I'm sorry.
No, I just for me, my mission and the reason I'm going to run for governor and I'm going to win is because I'm going to get rid of those torture cuffs on day one. We're going to change the policy that you can't torture cuff people. You can detain people.
Would you replace them with something or what?
Sure, I'll replace them with straps.
What do you mean by straps?
Velcro straps. Go around both wrists,
Velcro.
wrap around your wrist, wrap around your belt. It's that simple.
And
It
they
doesn't have to
stay
be
on. What's
complicated.
keeping them on?
Velcro. You could rip them off.
What's keeping me from undoing the Velcro from behind?
Oh no, they don't go in your front anymore. They don't go behind you anymore. They go in the front.
Okay.
And if you start to get them off, we can hear you. We can hear it. And look, we know what the alternative is. And there are people, John, you and I know this, who are drunk and methed out that you're going to have to wrap them up with a lot of straps like a sardine. But it wouldn't be the same as the metal torture cuffs created for slaves. So that's one of the things I'm going to do. I'm going to put a clock in every prison and jail immediately. In every single jail, there's no clocks. And it drives you crazy. I've been locked up more. I've been locked up dozens of times, arrested dozens of times, spent a night in jail, so many nights I can't even tell you. And then the third thing is I'm going to get rid of that torture chair in all the jails where I'm the governor of that state.
What?
Torture chair. They have a chair for people.
Chair?
Right. And I'm going to replace that with a plastic bubble room. Oh, you want to freak out and act crazy? Cool. In the plastic bubble room. You can jump straight up in the air and land on your head and you'll bounce off the ground. You'll bounce off the plastic. You want to go, you can't, fingers, you won't be able to rip it. Your fingers cannot rip that certain type of plastic. How do we know? They did this in the COVID buses. They redesigned COVID buses to drive around and give people shots. And when they redesigned those COVID buses, they took all the inside of them out and made like mini labs of the buses so they could drive around to give people the jab. Well, I saw it. Great stuff. I mean, great stuff as far as innovations, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to innovate. There's no reason. And if someone's freaking out and hitting the wall, put them in the bubble room. Let them scream, let them yell. Who cares? They can't get out. In 24 hours when they're starving, they're going to start to calm down a little bit. They're going to start to chill out. It'll start to happen.
Screen chairs are only supposed to be used for 20 minutes at a time.
That's not what's happening.
I know.
That's not what's happening.
People die in those things, dude.
Yeah.
They strain so hard, their body gives up.
There's a young man in Oklahoma, right in the same area where Jason Dollarhide was, that he sent me his videos and I tried to help him. I can't help everybody, y'all. And I couldn't help him. You know that, John. I can't help. I can't help everybody.
What happened to him?
He's still going through it. I was looking for a lawyer in Oklahoma. I could just never find one. Just like I'm still looking for a lawyer in Michigan to help me file a wrongful lawsuit against Laura Wickman, who is wrongfully prosecuting my friend Press with Rancor. And I'm going back up there for his trial. I'm not going to stop on this. I got a video coming out. I guess maybe we'll do it Saturday so that most people on the peninsula can watch it. But I clearly have proven through the FOIA and getting the emails. Oh yeah. That Lauren Wickman is colluding with the former chief of police, who was ex-Anaba Public Safety, and she colluded with the Michigan State Trooper cop, Todd Tardiff, his son, Cole Tardiff. So the daughter of Cole Tardiff, the daughter of Todd Tardiff, who used to be the Michigan State Police lieutenant, his daughter, Paige Tardiff, works with the prosecutor, Lauren Wickman. And Paige Tardiff's brother, Cole Tardiff, will arrest Press with Rancor. And then they collude together to charge him with a felony. The judge is in on it too. So I'm getting a lot of information about the judge right now. I need a little bit more before I can announce anything, but the judge is corrupt as well. He's a bootlicking cop sucker. 100%. 100%. So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Dude, the system's bad, dude. The system's bad. Even my lawyer, she was basically saying, dude, when you're being an a-hole, which is not illegal, But unless you get a jury with people who are like-minded like you, you're going to be in trouble. And it's going to be 5 times as hard to find a judge who thinks the way you do. I guess the way we think of this freedom, that we think we're fighting for freedom, is something that's super radical in mainstream America.
The judges are against us.
Of course.
The judges work for the government. They work for the state. They want to protect the state. They want to protect the government's money.
You were saying earlier that the core goals of the Supreme Court is to protect our rights, the core responsibilities.
That was their functionality.
That's the core responsibility of every government entity is supposed to be.
Right.
That's their job, to preserve, protect, and defend our rights. Oh boy, oh boy.
And they won't do it. They won't do it. They won't stand up for us.
They'll do the exact opposite to spite you, not realizing they're cutting off their own nose.
Well, I mean, if we go back and we take a look at this when I'm not rushed and trying to get into this live stream with you, you know, in OYA's, I read this website a lot. It's actually from Cornell University. And when you get into the conclusion here, remember, Supreme Court conservative personnel, they always screw us. And then right here, when I read this line, the court held that roadblocks do not violate the Fourth Amendment. That for me right there is all I need to hear before I realize we're living in an absolute police state. And the only people who were put in place to protect us, the Supreme Court, is working solidly against us, completely and utterly against us.
How can you be a Supreme Court justice and those words come out of your mouth? The court held that roadblocks did not violate the Fourth Amendment. If you looked up an antonym to Fourth Amendment, roadblock would be the first thing you would see. It's the exact thing the Fourth Amendment is supposed to protect from.
You know, the same thing here in Salinas versus Texas 2013 case. You know, John, I'm always talking about my trifold. Well, the reason why I'm always talking about my trifold, because when you get down in the holding, check the ideology. The conservative Supreme Court personnel screw us 5-4. They screwed us. And what exactly does Salinas versus Texas say? Right down here. Failure to claim the privilege must be excused when failure was due to government coercion. Forgive me 1 second.
It's not showing on their screen here.
Oh, you don't see it?
No.
Oh, sorry about that. Thank you for telling me. I'm sitting here looking things up here. Okay, so here's Salinas versus Texas right here. And the Supreme Court said in the year 2013, does the Fifth Amendment self-incrimination clause protect a defendant's refusal to answer questions to cops before he has been arrested or read his Miranda rights? And then by ideology, look at the conservative Supreme Court personnel screwing us again, screwing the people. They're the worst. They're worse than liberals. I'm sorry, they are. Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Anthony Scalia were partners. They worked together. People think there's a liberal and conservative Supreme Court. No.
So what's it say about the Fifth Amendment and
right here? So can you see what I'm pointing here? Long-standing. Go ahead. You read it, John.
Long-standing judicial precedent has held that any witness who desires protection against self-incrimination must explicitly claim that protection. So you have to verbalize that you don't want to answer questions.
Not that I don't answer one of questions. You have to say the Fifth Amendment. You have to say, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. You have to actually say the words. If you don't say them, then you haven't invoked your Fifth. And then, so just so everybody knows, if you don't say the words, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right, and this says, I just hope my accountant said Venmo transaction was successful. It gave me a confirmation code. Okay, so you may have some more money coming here. I'm going to check that right now, Dan. But I want to finish this real quick. Thank you, Dan. You know, God bless you. Dan Hanlon, just so you guys know, Dan Hanlon has been around for about 6 months now. He has donated to every single person I've ever had a fundraiser for. I mean, ever. You are a mensch, dude. Dan. You are an absolute mensch. I will check that right now. So, you know, this is going to go to the clearly established prong. And if you don't say I invoke my Fifth Amendment right, then what happens is adding a third prong to the qualify. What is the clearly established prong? Can you see what I see, or do I have to switch it over?
Switch.
The clearly established prong says, go ahead, John.
At the time of the official's conduct, the law was sufficiently clear that every reasonable official would understand that what he or she is doing is unconstitutional.
Right. So if you say, I don't answer questions, that is not the same as saying, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. The cop could still have qualified immunity, because remember, if you go to a DUI checkpoint and you say, I don't answer questions, what you're going to get is, well, where are you going? Where are you going right now? I don't answer questions. Where are you coming from? I don't answer questions. Have you had anything to drink tonight? I don't answer questions, right? Whereas if you say, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, that then changes everything. That I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. You saw me about 2 months ago go through. Did you see that video, John? I went through a DUI checkpoint. As soon as I pulled up to the DUI checkpoint, I said, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. Cop said, have a nice night. Because the clearly established prong, that goes around his qualified immunity. That's what happens.
Do cops know that?
Cops are dumb as a box of rocks, bro. I have no idea which one knows it and which one don't. I've met a couple cops who are PhD educated, but for the most part, I meet knuckle dragging baboons who are just absolute jackboot thug pigs.
They got their good enough diploma.
So now when you see this at the time of the official's conduct, clearly established means at the time of the official's conduct. So if you say, hey, I don't answer questions, well, that's great. But Salinas versus Texas says, long-standing judicial precedent has held that any witness who desires protection against self-incrimination must explicitly claim that protection. If you don't say the words, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, then it goes down the line, and then it ends up where they search you and they find a joint, and then you go to jail for the joint. And then what happens? Then you sue the cop for violating your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, and they watch the video back, and all you said is, I don't answer questions. You never said that you invoked your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. And at the time of the official's conduct, the law is sufficiently clear that every reasonable official would understand what he or she was doing is unconstitutional. Well, if you say, I don't answer questions, the cop might say, oh, I think that's just something they heard on YouTube. I didn't know he was invoking his Fifth Amendment right. And as you know, John, the federal judge is going to say what?
I don't know.
Yes, I agree with the cop. He didn't know.
Yeah.
All you were saying is that I'm not going to answer questions. I mean, so the Supreme Court clearly is tilted against us.
How can you say I plead the Fifth, or do you literally have to say I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent?
You could say I plead the Fifth, because remember what I teach. Dan Hanlon, I got it. So you got 60 more bucks coming, brother. And let me see if anybody else was in there besides Dan. Nope, that was all Dan Hanlon. Threw you 60 bones, dude.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dan.
Bless your soul.
Thank you, dude. I mean, you're getting rich right now, though, right, John? The extra 100 or two is going to make you rich, right?
Take this money and get the surgery I've been needing for.
You getting that Botox?
The Greek word for fat is lipo. Lipo.
Lipo?
And you say it in English, it's lipo.
Oh, you're going to get the lipo. I don't think the extra $100 or 150, $200, whatever it is, past your lawyer, I don't think it's going to get you the lipo, brother.
Hey, man, I'll get a gyro on the way and we'll think about it a little. Thank you guys so much.
I mean, it's a real treat to be able to sit here and share these things with you guys. And you can just clearly see that, and you go back to this one right here, which is what John was down there fighting for our rights for. The court held that roadblocks did not violate the Fourth Amendment.
Now, why is it so hard to get something like this overturned? Explain me that.
This is Terry versus Ohio.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You didn't know that?
Where's the RAS here?
It's because what they quoted actually was that they quoted the media. It doesn't say it in here, but in the actual holding, which I've read on LexisNexis, says that no one can seriously dispute the magnitude of the drunken driving problem in the states or its interest to eradicate it. and that the measure of intrusion motorists stopped briefly at sobriety checkpoints is slight. You know what's really funny is they say the exact. Oh yeah.
Go on.
I mean, it's the exact same thing with Terry versus Ohio. It's the exact same thing, that your temporary detainment is not that big of a deal. The court held, can you see what I can see here? The court held that the search undertaken by the officers was reasonable when they searched John Terry without a weapon, without a warrant, and that the weapon seized could be introduced as evidence against Terry, attempting to focus narrowly on the facts of this particular case. Attempting to focus narrowly on the facts of this case. The court found that the officer acted on more than a hunch. A reasonably prudent man would have been warranted in believing that Terry was armed and thus presented a threat to officer safety while he was investigating his suspicious behavior. The court found that the searches undertaken were limited in scope and designed to protect the officer's safety incident to investigation. So what these guys have become are the Supreme Court for cops. And once again, take it's 8-1. But just so you know, I mean, I know the history of this so well, as you know, you covered those videos today. John Marshall was literally the boss of Hugo Black, who was a lifetime member of the KKK. And then Thurgood Marshall here, the liberal justice in the middle, it was his first year on the Supreme Court. And why would a black man, his first year on the Supreme Court, agree to pass Terry versus Ohio? Because Earl Warren, this man here, Earl Warren, he told him to. He said, "You'll vote with me."
And that's Warren from the Warren Commission, right?
That's Warren from the Warren Commission, who also covered up the execution of John F. Kennedy.
Magic Bullet Warren.
That's right. Magic Bullet Warren. And if you really want to know something about Earl Warren, Korematsu versus the United States. If you guys don't know this case, this is from 1942. Case was decided in 1944. In response to the Japanese attacks on Pearl Harbor in World War II, the U.S. government decided to require Japanese Americans to move into concentration camps as a matter of national security. Franklin Roosevelt signed an executive order 9066 in 1942, 2 months after Pearl Harbor. A Japanese American man in San Leandro named Fred Korematsu chose to stay at his residence rather than obey the order to relocate to a concentration camp. Korematsu was arrested and convicted of violating Order 9066. That violated his Fifth Amendment right. The Ninth Circuit confirmed. So the Ninth Circuit, a group of federal judges, confirmed that Korematsu, because of an executive order, the Constitution is suspended and you have to live in a concentration camp. So then the question here is, did the president and Congress go beyond their war powers by implementing exclusions and restrictions the rights of American Japanese? And check it out. The reason why it's most of them that voted for it 6-3 is because Franklin Delano Roosevelt had appointed 8 of these people to the Supreme Tyranny. So then if you want to, John, can you cover this for me?
In an opinion written by Justice Black, the court ruled that the evacuation order violated by Korematsu was valid. The majority found that the executive order did not show racial prejudice, but rather responded to the strategic imperative of keeping the U.S. and particularly the West Coast, the region nearest Japan, secure from invasion. The court relied heavily on a 1943 decision, Hirabayashi versus U.S., which addressed similar issues. Black argued that the validation of the military decision by Congress merited even more deference. Justice Frankfurter concurred, writing that martial necessity arising from the danger of espionage and sabotage warranted the military's evacuation order. Justice Jackson dissented, arguing that the exclusion order legitimized racism that violated equal protection clause of the 14th Amendment.
And let's take a look again at
and more than just that.
Mm-hmm. A lot more than just that. But let me just point this out. The opinion written by Justice Black that the 4 of the other Supreme Court personnel signed on to, that the evacuation was valid and that it did not show racial prejudice rather than responding to the imperative of keeping the U.S., the West Coast, safe from Japan. Well, this is Hugo Black right here. Well, guess who Hugo Black was? A lifetime member of the KKK. Nominated, but not, he was 1938, I believe he comes on the Supreme Court, nominated by FDR. And then he's on the Supreme Court for 30 plus years.
Are these all the drug law judges too?
That's going to be the Burger Court. You're going to have the Controlled Substance Act is going to pass in 1970. And in 1970, that's going to be challenged, but you're going to have the Burger Court, the Warren Burger Court from 1969 until 1986. So, but remember, this man who wrote, just right here, I'm showing you this to you. This is the reason why I pulled it up. And I tell you that most of the laws created in our country are based on racism. The majority found the executive order did not show racial prejudice. Well, who wrote that? Hugo Black wrote that. Hugo Black's a lifetime member of the KKK.
The racist.
The racist wrote that it's not racist.
The bigot.
That's like cops investigating cops.
He's not still around, is he?
He's dead. He's dead. Hugo Black, if you read Hugo Black's Wikipedia page, they paint him out to be some constitutional juggernaut who fought for your rights and my rights. The truth is, Hugo Black was also the lead inquisitor in the Terry versus Ohio holding. And if you covered those 3 videos today, Overturn Terry, then you heard Hugo Black say, well, what do you mean? He can just walk up to him and the guy can just walk on off. He doesn't have to answer no questions. And then
exactly.
And then Louis Stokes replies, that's exactly correct. And Hugo Black says, that's what I thought you meant. And he's got his pen ready to go to right back there. Ain't no Enners walking away without talking to cops. I mean, this guy's from Alabama. Oh, you don't think they're thinking that? 100% they're thinking that.
Dude, my friend Jesse, who is black, he does a whole routine like that. And when he does it, it's crazy funny.
Well,
So
I mean,
reminded me of that real
I've already been called a racist. They tried to cancel me in 2021 by calling me a racist.
Dude, half the people think I'm Hispanic. Whatever, man. I don't even look at race. I don't even care. I didn't know you were Hispanic.
I'm Colombian.
Until I heard your name.
Me llamo Jose Maria. I'm Colombian.
Right on, brother.
Yeah, I don't. There's not a racist bone in my body, but it's not the point. The old cancel culture before we knew that calling someone as a racist was just a way to cancel them. Now, Often when you call someone a racist, we're like, well, show us the racism. Who did he beat up?
It is assumed.
Yeah. Who did he beat or cheat that was black or brown? Who did he beat or cheat? No, I'm just saying anytime. When I hear someone say, oh, they're a racist, I go, against who? Who were they? Was there a person saying that they walked up and said, oh, because you're black, I'm not going to serve you. Oh, because you're black, I'm not going to have you on my live stream. Like, I don't even understand. I don't understand.
I'm racist against really hot girls because I can't serve them because I can't talk and I go mute and I don't know what to say.
You get that deer in the headlights look.
Anyway.
All right. Well, listen, we don't have to stay on here forever. A real quick,
as long as you want, man.
No, a real quick shout out. I want to thank Dan Hanlon and I want to thank a bunch of people real fast here. Chevy, April, God bless you guys for coming in.
G.
Yeah, Johnny G came in. Martin came through in a big way. Laura came through twice. Chevy 4 or 5 times. Eric came through a couple times. Like there's so many people who came through. To Gary donated before we even started. And
Gary.
Yep. Eric's a couple times. And then the Angry Vet is a couple times.
Mr. Vet, who's angry.
David is in there. And then, of course, I'm seeing Alberto is in there. Thank you so much, Alberto. Gregor.
What?
Gregor is one of my mods. He has donated. Is
that with a hard R?
Gregory is his name.
Oh,
Gregory.
Thank you, bro.
Gregory has been one of my moderators almost since I started, if not since I started. And Gregory has donated to every single fundraiser I've ever had. Michael Dolan's the same every fundraiser. Garrett, Press with Rancor, came through, money. Gary again, Brandon, thank you so much. Tom,
Brandon.
You're welcome, Tom. God bless you, brother.
Thank you, Tom. Thank
God
you,
bless
Brandon.
you. I appreciate that. Lawrence came through too. Jordan came through.
Lawrence of America.
Thank you so much, Jordan. Henry came through.
Jordan, Palestine.
Wow, so cool. So cool to see so many people. And let me just read the Cash Apps and just thank a few more people just because I want to make sure.
Stop.
Stephanie T, J6, Bruce. Bruce, again, one of my moderators, has donated to
Bruce. Stop.
Angry Vet put in a chunk of money, bro. Angry Vet
Don't
threw
be angry, man. I'll give you a hug when I see you.
Angry Vet, he threw in a chunk of money. Donna threw in some money. Corey threw in some money. Pistol P Rex, 1, 2, 3 donations in a row. Boom.
Pistol Pete, man, thank you.
Pistol Pete.
Don't
Robert,
shoot, bro. Hands up. Don't shoot, Pistol Pete.
Robert C for Filax. I got you. Brooklyn Audits. Thank you so much,
Robert.
dude.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Brooklyn Audits.
Thank you so much. So I think that's the long and the short of it. So I will send you this cash tonight as soon as, I can do it now. Just text me your Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. I'll send you the money right now.
We don't stop.
We don't stop. You get the Night at the Roxbury going?
Oh, yeah.
Give us a song, John. What do you got?
A song?
Or a rap? Give me a rap or give me a song.
Man, it's hard when it's on the spot, man. Got no motivation. We got the crooked judge passing crooked laws. Terry versus Ohio, we got to sink our claws. We got to get it going. We got to rip it out. Because without it, we have more clout. And I am styled like a tea kettle with a Air Force medal. Rocking this party 8 days like heavy metal.
You got any 90s rap from the 90s that you know?
Yeah. Woke up quick at about noon. Just thought that I had to be in Compton soon. I gotta get drunk before the day begins. Before my mama starts bitching about my friends. Time to go and damn near went blind. Knuckleheads at the park throwing up game sign. I jumped in the car, grabbed the hip with the Mac 10 on the side of my hip. I yelled out fire. Then came Susie. Came in with the submachine Uzi. Police shot but didn't hurt her. We're both upstate for attempted murder. Cause me and delete laws is always hard. You come effing with us, we'll come pull your card, knowing nothing in life but to be legit. Don't quote us, boy, cause we still talking shit and we don't stop.
Yeah. A round of applause for John.
That's all I could do, man. That's all I could come up with on short notice.
My guy's trying to bug me. Listen, I just want to point something out here, and I'm going to give you a little shine here, John. So just be ready to take it. Okay. Listen, could you even imagine that they would torture cuff this man, the beautiful soul that he is, and put him in a dungeon? Can you even wrap it around your head? Like, what kind of country have we created here? Oh, I think I saw a super chat come in.
I mean so much good, man. I really mean well.
Oh, I know. I do too. Just, when you're a freedom fighter and you're hardcore and you know that you can't back down, a lot of times people misunderstand you. The judge, for example, when you go in front of the judge, I think that I don't know. In Florida, where you are, I think you're going to lose the criminal trial, and I think you're going to win on appeal. And they're going to appeal then to the circuit court.
On my case?
Yeah. No, you're not in federal court. You're in criminal court. So it'll go to the Court of Appeals for the criminal court. And then I think that you're going to have the case overturned. But I think initially with that group of Kevins and Karens on the jury and the Kevin or Karen judge, I think you're going to lose the first round. That's what I've thought. I don't want that. I'm not projecting that into the world. I'm just saying, we helped, Floyd Wallace sue in Las Vegas, and that Judge Ford, the federal judge, you can see on camera that Floyd Wallace's rights were violated, and he dismissed the case. So
On what grounds?
That failure to state a claim, I think, is what the paperwork said. But I've got so many lawsuits I read constantly that I could be confused. XXGO is here, everybody.
XXGOX in the house.
Yeah, so someone else said something about you here. I really fell in love with John. When the cop asked him if he was a sovereign citizen, he said, "No, I'm not a police officer." I was laughing my ass off for 2 days.
That was one of my best lines in my life right there. Especially that's a walk-off home run right there in the moment.
SWE Observer is one of those guys. Team DLZ always comes through.
He was in my live today.
Oh, he's a great dude, man. And then right here I have this one right here says, been watching since I was in high school. And that's you, John, because you've been on YouTube longer than me.
Oh, bless you, man.
How cool is that?
I'm glad I can corrupt the minds of the still soft.
And then Kevin B says, don't take a plea deal. Don't take a plea deal.
Don't take a plea deal, huh?
F them, dude. F them. April says, you're going to be all right.
Thank you, guys.
You'll be all right.
Dude, I'll be all right, but you guys have made it so much easier. I cannot thank you enough. I don't know what else I could do. A dance, a jig. I don't know. I love you. Thank you.
That song you gave was pretty good.
Hey, man, off the top of my head, what do you want?
I'm going to watch your video, so I'm going to get the flock out of here. Everybody, let me let John go first, and then I'll talk to my audience.
All right, everybody, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us, John. Bye, buddy.
Thank you, man. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You're welcome. Later, brother. So, just a little personal information that I'm going to share with you guys right now. That, first of all, thank you guys. I couldn't do what I do without you. I would be powerless without you. I'm not going to cry. Okay. So with that being said, I want to show you my latest. Let me show this to you. This almost made me cry because, you have a million problems until you have a health problem. And then you have one problem. And that's what happened to me 2 weeks ago when my blood pressure shot to 195 over 100. And I decided to go on a week-long fast. And I did just that. I finished today. I broke my fast today. And just so you guys know, that's my blood pressure reading today. There it is. So, yeah. That's what's hard sharing with you guys is that, that I'm human. That's what's hard sharing with you is that I'm a human being. And I had this, I get this like pulsating when my blood pressure goes crazy. And I know I can, hey Gio, how you doing, buddy? When my blood pressure goes crazy, I can literally feel it. I can feel it in my head. I can feel it behind my eyes. And 2 weeks ago, a little less than 2 weeks ago, I'd get this pulsation right here above my ear. And as soon as I get the pulsation, I realize, oh shit, I have to take a pharmaceutical pill, blood pressure medication. And so as soon as I put that pill in my mouth, I always said to myself, you can beat anything if you put your mind to it. And so the next day, even though I had a slight cold, I began a week-long fast. I just finished that fast today. Today was my 8th day. And now I'm slowly reintroducing food, lentil soup, vegetable soup, broth. And then tomorrow I'll get my first bite of fructose. I'll do some watermelon. So anyway, just for my team, and pretty much when it's late at night like this, I was in the East Coast, West Coast, and people are here giving money. I know that those are mostly my people. Those are mostly Team DLZ. So I just wanted to share with you guys my health update. I'm getting better. Come on. And little Charlie Bear is 100%. You are 100%, aren't you? Tell them. You want to say something to them? You want to say something to the people? You got anything to say? Anything to say? So I'm working on myself. I'm working on my health, and I'm going to make myself 100%. I'm not going to run for governor if I think I'm going to die. I don't want to get to the governor's office and then croak. So I just appreciate you guys, and I just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you guys all for donating to John. I'm going to get off this live right now. I'm going to call him on the phone, get his Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and I'm going to send him every single dime that you guys sent in, every single penny. I'll calculate it again just to make sure that I get every penny that you guys gave. You know, I don't need the money that you donated to John. I don't need that. There's some of these people in here donate to me. So I just am blown away by the kindness and the goodness that there is in some people still in this country. So, all right, without bloviating for another hour, I'll get the flock out of here. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I appreciate you guys coming. I'll see you guys tomorrow about noon, about 1. We'll do it again. All right. I'll see you then. Good night. Later, Gators.